Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates and the such you should go about on Twitter X. Later today, we'll have a Callisto Protocol episode. It will be episode 7. And afterwards, it will be on Wednesday and Friday. I need to get along and fine tune this because I already finished up Marvel's Midnight Suns. But yeah, just a quick reminder that I have a complete gameplay series in 4K, which are the most recent ones, and then 1080p on the older ones. Yeah, basically that's it regarding updates. I still need to see if I get at least a couple of hours to go around and play the first Berserker Kazan. It seems pretty good from some videos here and there that I saw. It seems pretty decent the demo, so I will try to get around and see if I can play that one. So let's go to the news. Again, coming up with the 50 series still, uh, allegedly there has been some synthetic benchmarks from the 5080, specifically from the 3D Mark app, and supposedly it's 15% faster than the 4080 Super. But then again, we all know that in terms of these synthetic benchmarks, they really do not translate in gains for gaming. We saw that with the 5090 to a certain extent, and again, these kind of things between generations, I don't think it's the best way to go about it. I think usually it's between within the same generation we can have, I don't know, as a reference point. But yeah, it's seemingly the prediction is that it's not going to even be at the same level of a 4090. I think it's just going to be shy of a 49 in terms of performance because the first rumors that we heard with the 5080 was was supposedly to perform 10% above the 4090, give or take. But if that's so, it I think it changes itself in terms of performance comparative with the 5090 itself. 5090 being in terms of rasterized performance around about, let's say, 25 to 30% best case scenarios in terms of 4K rasterization, in terms of uplifting. If the 5080 was 10% more than the 4090, again, I don't think it bodes well for the in terms of how the 5090 is portrayed as a Halo product. And again, didn't make a lot of sense given that the 5080 it's like almost half of the CUDA cores of the 5090, less half of the memory and all that jazz. I think it will perform maybe 15 to 20% more than a 4080. 4080 Super and 4080 is basically the same thing. They usually stay within margin of error, kind of around 2, 3, maximum 5%, depending on gaming cases, depend on the game. But yeah, the 58 I don't think is going to is not going to behave that well. I don't know, 15%. Then a 4080 Super, I'm not sure. Maybe it's in terms of if this translates to gaming, it's like a couple of cases where the RTX or the NVIDIA GPUs usually behave better. But yeah, I don't think people should hype themselves or have high expectations of this 50 series, even because, again, as we see with the 5090, it's basically the number is like 30%. Supposedly performs 30% more than a 4090. It costs at least 30% more than a 4090, at least on MSRP wise. It has 30% more specs to a certain degree, especially on the side of VRAM, and I think even CUDA cores, if not mistaken. And it also consumes around 30-ish percent more power to deliver that same kind of performance. So it's not the best uplift in terms of price to performance and even power consumption or price per watt. But yeah, uh, don't trust too much here. Again, we will have review embargo on the 29th or the 30th, so we're not that far from there. So yeah, we have to wait a little bit more to see how it goes, and continue with this thing regarding the prices of this new Blackwell GPUs or the 5000 series. Um, we've been seeing a lot of again, this is a rumor leak kind of a thing here. It seems or insider information that it seems to be that the fact I think it's going to be impossible to see any kind of AIB 50 series coming about at MSRP, mainly because of the price that it costs to make these GPUs and how NVIDIA treats their AIB partners. And I think we have been seeing this, and we got the canary in the coal mine kind of situation with EVGA when he broke its stop producing GPUs from NVIDIA. Mainly because the way they thought they were being treated, given that they were at exclusive partners for 20 or 30 years, something like that. It's basically the fact how Nvidia tries to, again, they're trying to squeeze every dollar that can make from everybody, even including partners that they have a working relationship. And I think this is one of the reasons that we're going to have huge prices on MSRP, sorry, AIB cards. So they are not going to have MSRP prices whatsoever. And in this case of the 50 series, I think it's how NVIDIA is selling the chip by itself, which I think they sell as a bundle, which includes the GDDR7 memory and how they are selling the chips of memory to the AIB partners. It's it's basically cheating their own partners because supposedly before I think they could, for example, MSI or ASUS, they could they bought the chip from Nvidia and then they could buy the chips or memory chips and the rest of it throughout outsourcing themselves those chips. And with this case, it seems that they are basically mandated to buy a bundle of the chip plus the memory chips of GDDR7. And because GDDR7 is a very recent chip technology, it's way more expensive than the previous GDDR6X and non-X variants of that, and they are basically overcharging the AIB partners with that. And again, I don't think this is going to go well or trickle down too good for us consumers because again, this price hikes, they will always go and be reflected on the final consumer, which is us. And I think this is why we are not going to see probably and maybe one model for each company, and very limited amounts of MSRP models, mainly because I think it's one of the things that NVIDIA mandates to the AIB partners is for them to have um, at least a model on MSRP prices. But yeah, this is supposedly now not how you treat your partners, given that and again, this goes in line with, I think, the one of the main paths that Nvidia probably wants to take is basically doing their own thing and not counting with the IAB partners. But then again, the logistics of distribution and manufacturing that huge amounts of GPUs and distributed throughout the world. Again, that's why AIB partners are usually partnered with NVIDIA in this case, or NVIDIA partners with the AIBs, is because of the logistic side of things. When it comes to manufacturing in huge amounts of scales and also packaging the GPU and all that jazz, and plus the distribution side of things, which is a little bit costly, and usually that cost is bared through the AIB's partners, let's say MSI, ASUS, and all that and all those others, um, and for that, because they have that added cost of doing their own thing, and the fact that they are basically paying a very high price to buy the bundle from Nvidia. That's why we are going to get very expensive GPUs on this 50 series for sure. Um, I'm not again the lowest that we have here so far is from Palette Game Rock. I think this is the lower end here, which is $2,200. That's not good. It's again taking into account it's $2,000 price range, but then again, it's not at MSRP price point. And yeah, I don't like this. Again, EVGA was shouting at a couple of years ago when they didn't launch any 40 series. They basically terminated the partnership with NVIDIA before the launch of the 40 series. They had a couple, at least a prototyping from the 4090 that I think J2 Cents got a hang of it and tested out. But yeah, I think VGA was kind of the canary in the coal mine again. I'm not sure how this is going to get in terms of sales because again, it starts creeping too much on basically paying $3,000 for a price of a car that supposedly should cost around $2,000, even though it's like the best GPU in the world or whatever you want to call it. I don't think it justifies itself. Again, paying $3,000 for a GPU when you can build a complete entire system with everything and play it at 4K for the same price, I don't think it's worth the price of admission of having trying to get around this kind of GPUs. And we're going to see this reflection also on the 58. I think we're going to see a lot of 5080s going about $2,000 because you're not going to find any 5090 at MSRP. So I will assume that the price on the 5080s will creep up to that price. At least that's my expectation there. And with that said, one of the things that is going to add and compound to the creeping up in terms of prices of this 50 series is seemingly the lack of stock everywhere, especially on the 5090s. It seems that there is no supply or an inventory on stores of the 5090s. Even though it seems that there are a lot of the 5080s, again, supposedly they are more cheaper to manufacture, it's less risk adverse per se. And this comes through kind of conversations of, I think, official media channels from MSI. Again, I think this is Chinese. I think this is Mandarin characters here. But yeah, it seems that the 5090s are even the 5090Ds or any kind of version of 5090 chip is in very short supply everywhere. There are some, for example, OC UK, which is a big retailer in United Kingdom. They only have single-digit quantities of 5090 SKUs. So any kind of version of 5090 SKU is like single digits, which is not that much. While supposedly the 5080 cards are available in the hundreds. Again, I think this trickles onto every kind of market. And again, this is going to just compound the situation of the situation between AIB partners and NVIDIA ramping up the price, and also the fact that it is not going to have a lot of inventory throughout any kind of market. Plus the scalper situation, for sure, the scalpers will try to get around and get the most that they can get in terms of inventory of these 5090s and probably 5080s and try to scalp it. And this will, again, will reflect on somebody that's going to try and get those GPUs at a fair price. They are not going to make it for sure. At least that's my prediction. Not looking good. So as I said, since we start covering the 50 series in more detail, I said don't sell your GPU waiting for you to get around and getting a 59 or even a 5080. Again, uh, if you're still able to play games at I don't know the resolution that you pretend that you want to play and at decent amount of frame rates without any kind of getting around any kind of shenanigans, and if you feel comfortable still playing it, just wait. We still have the AMD series to come out. Maybe it will offer for older systems some I don't know, rejuvenation in playing better games. And with that, I will talk also with regarding FSR4. Supposedly, this is a leaker, Kepler, which is a well-renowned leaker, let's say, or insider that usually I remember his name, Kepler, usually gets around things right. And it seems that FSR4 it is what we saw on CES on showcases. I reference hardware on box video when they went through, and there is huge improvements from FSR 3.1 to FSR 4, and it seems that the fourth version of this technology can be automatically integrated if you have a supposedly RDNA 4 GPU and the game supports already FSR 3.1. I think it's on the driver side of things. I think they can be. It's like a DLL replacement of the file there. It automatically manages to go about and upgrade automatically to FSR 4, which seems pretty good. But again, so far, this is only going to be able to be done with RDNA 4 GPU, so the 9000 series. So at this moment, 9070 XT and non-XT. But yeah, at least by implementing so far, according to this information, it seems that as long when you buy this GPU, and if you're playing games that already have 3.1 support, which I think there are dozens at least games that already support this version of SFR, sorry, FSR. I think it's just a thing that is going to be done at the driver level, which is it will basically switch the DLL file there, which seems pretty interesting and pretty good. But then again, this is not official information. Again, we're still lacking any kind of even trying to announce when they are going to do an announcement when the cards are going to sale, going on sale, and the specifications and so official information of FSR4. Again, and this comes around, I think, the delay with the fact that I think it was mainly about the price point. I think they butchered everything because I think they were trying to do an NVIDIA move. And this was discovered basically by, sorry, I think it's a Bulgarian retailer. They made a video regarding Radeon GPU, so the RDNA 4, and here there is a Red Devil limited edition on this. I think it's they were trying to wipe up interest on Bulgaria there. And on the video itself, again, this was translated, and it seems that it was a lot of it regarding price. Again, we already kind of knew that to a certain point. And the explanation, even though it doesn't give like huge details, but it seems because they are a retailer, they had like at least a price point they were trying to aim. Because when you, as a retailer, I will assume when you go to the brand and buy in bulk, you know what are the MSRPs that or the brand or in this case the AIBs or even AMD is aiming for in terms of MSRP. So you have an idea how many you want to buy and if it's going to sell good or not, and then you put your own price there so you can make your profit. And it seems that on this is coming from the video itself. The delay of the RDNA 4 has created uncertainty. These cards were expected to launch at prices significantly higher than the 7800 XT, so and closer to the 7900 XT, which basically is around. I think he is referring to the MSRP launch. So going around, I don't know. He mentions here 500 BGN, which is around, I think. $900 also. So it seems that they were trying to launch, given that the performance is very similar to the 7900 XE, at least the leaked information, they were trying to launch at the same kind of MSRP price because to a certain degree they already reduced the price of the 7900 XT to 800 or 750. I'm not sure. And again, the 9070 non XT was expected maybe around $750. Again, I will assume, I'm not sure if this price here, the conversion here is with or without tax. I'm not sure because usually in European countries on that area, usually all the prices already include the all the taxes associated with it. So I'm not sure if it is with or without. But even if it is with tax, it's still too much of a high price. Uh, f- I don't know. I'm not sure how good they are. I'm not sure how good they are feeling AMD with the performance of the 9070 XT comparative with the, let's say, the 5070 Ti to launch at this higher price around $900, given that the 70 Ti supposedly MSRP is going to be 750, even though we're not going to see all the prices there on MSRP. I think they had to backtrack a lot of stuff there, and I think that's why you're having this kind of delay on the RDNA 4 GPUs for the moment. Even though, even though that, again, it's one of the things we don't have official information from AMD, but the rumored and leaked performance regarding the 9070 XT, it seems to be in line on having the same kind of rasterized performance of roundabouts the 7900 XT, which is good if the price is right. And the price to have this kind of performance, taking into account that Nvidia is already going to launch the 5070 Ti for around 750, you'll need to have maximum, at least according to all the information that we have, I think $600 is the top that you can charge for the 9070 XT. But yeah, I'm not sure. Because the 7800 XT, I think it's priced around 550, if not mistaken, give or take. Because all the analysis and commentators that usually are aware of this kind of insider information, people were expecting kind of a 7900 XT performance for the cost of a 7800 XT to be a good value, with the increased and added bonus of having ray tracing performance around the 4070 Ti kind of a thing there, and the fact that you have plus the added technology of FSR4 to be more in line with the kind of quality of DLSS 3.7. But yeah, if again, that's why we saw. I think we saw this kind of huge delay on RDNA for launch. Um, Again, this is again, it's another pile of information that is adding at least to the speculation behind it, because there is no other logical sense of for them to delay something that they were wanted to present on CES, and then at the last hour they just delay everything without announcing when they are going to do any kind of official confirmation of when the cards are going to sell, and even presenting officially the GPUs themselves. So, yeah, not good either way. Not even from Intel. Got the B5. B580. Yeah, the B580 is a decent price if you can find it 250 or below. But then again, we got that overhead issue with the driver stuff there on lower end CPUs. But yeah, it's not good. Just again, as I mentioned earlier, if you're satisfied, or you if you can still play games the way you've been playing it, yeah, just keep your own hardware for now. I don't see a good opening to buy any good hardware unless you find like a hidden gem on secondhand market or like a special deal. But yeah, I don't see any reasoning to upgrade the hardware. And then lastly, for today, similarly, we got a kind of report for Epilion, and it seems to that this report comes in line with analyzing the gaming industry, and this is just gaming in the sense of software sales, or again gaming sales. And we saw a huge growth on the PC market, which at this point in time, on 2024, according to them, it it's got a market of around $30 billion from last year, which is the combined sales of all consoles. So PS, PlayStation, Xbox, and even Switch. And they have a reduction in. I know this is 1 to 2 billions. This is VR. Sorry. Again, of course, the huge slice of pie is mobile, $83 billion. Again, everybody's got a mobile. It's a cheap thing that you can have, and again, the microtransactions hell is a huge thing there. But yeah, um, again, according to this, PC is a big bright spot, adding 65% more content spent than a living room console, so any kind of the usual consoles, since 2011 and 2011, sorry, and 225 more than combined consoles, or basically $30 billion in total, while the consoles are around 20 billion or so. But yeah, this kind of, and you see the growth here. PC was always something bigger, even from 2012. Again, since especially after the pandemic, you got a huge growth on the console stuff, because console is something that a console is just something that you buy, you plug it in, and you turn on, and you're ready to play. It's something more simple, and usually it's the ease of use more than anything. While the PCs, I think the fact that I always played PC. I had consoles at the beginning. Then when I start playing on PC, I basically stopped playing consoles. And my overall sense is I prefer playing on PC, even though it can be, or uh, again, people say that it's more expensive to maintain a PC. But if you use the PC for gaming, I think if you take a little bit more time and be cautious with not triggering the mofo, or going too much on the hype of certain hardware, I think you can have a kind of a similar, almost kind of spending, or similar spending on the hardware. If you have, for example, on the console side of things, if you buy every new hardware that comes out on a generation, or even mid generation, for example, with the PlayStation, you bought a PlayStation 5, then you upgrade for a PlayStation 5 Pro and all that jazz. I think you can almost maintain the same kind of price with the hardware correlation. And then you had the added fact that with PC you can do a lot more stuff there than with the consoles, and the fact that, for example, on Steam, you have a constant stream of gaming deals. It's one of the things I usually do. You always have something on a deal that you can buy very cheap. You don't have to buy full price. For example, on the PlayStation Store, the games stay on the launch price almost indefinitely. It's rare for them to drop price, so you're always going to pay 50, $60 for a game when you want to play a game on the console. While on Steam, you can um, most of the time find a game that suits your needs, because you're not bound by exclusivity of the consoles. You got huge amounts of indie games that you can buy for cheap, and you can take a lot of entertainment out of it. And again, the maintenance of the hardware is on the PC. Then you have the other side of having cheaper games and more games to play than the console side of things. That's one of the reasons when a lot of people that have PCs, they play on the PC, but then they might have on the side play consoles, but usually on the console side they only play the exclusive stuff there is on the console. And for that, usually the market translates here on the sales, as we show here on the graph. But yeah, and as you can see, even again, this is kind of not much of votes, 600 people, but even on 600, most of them are 74% PC, and only 8% are on consoles, in terms of the preference of the system itself. And again, we got even more people that why not both. Again, just this small poll, it can be skewed either way because you're not mandated, or doesn't ask you which one that you own. But yeah, uh, as you can see, the fact that PC gaming is dying for over a decade, that I've been listening to that. As you can see, it's in pretty good shape. Could be better, but again, it's not dying. It's been growing steadily, at least on the last 10 years, while the console, it can fluctuate here and there depending on the year. But yeah, basically, this is it regarding news. Let's go for some gaming deals. Got The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt still on sale. Again, I recommend Complete Edition. Got the Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine expansions, excellent expansions. We got Doom, 80% off. And then we got also Doom Eternal, 75% off. Or then we got I think the deluxe edition here, sorry, 75%, which has the Ancient Gods expansion and the other stuff there. Then we got Red Dead Redemption 2, Ultimate Edition. Yeah, Ultimate Edition, I think it's the super duper version here. Then we got Atomic Heart, 65% ish on the all editions. Then we got Cyberpunk again. Ultimate Edition seems to be the way, which has the Phantom Liberty stuff there, and plus all the mods that you can install for free. Got Death Stranding Director's Cut. This is the edition that I do recommend. Again, from what I play the game, I think the game so far is excellent. Is has me hooked up. The only thing that I, because I didn't play the game more, it's because I want to play the game while doing some live streams, which is something that I really need to try and make sure that I can do that before Death Stranding 2 comes out. Um, got also Liza P, 40% off. We got also Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden. It's 60% off. Again, I do recommend the price. The game. It's a very interesting game. It's got a good story, more than serviceable gameplay mechanics there. Turn-based combat, very similar to XCOM, with some twists here and there. Again, I think it's a pretty good game for $20 with the expansion Seeds of Evil, which expands a little bit more on the story. I think it's not a bad game for you to buy on the deal here. I already did also a gameplay series when I did the when I started to do the gameplay series. I think I was on because I claimed this game for free on Epic Game Store, but then I eventually bought the game on the sale. I think it was a sale with this kind of price, if not mistaken. But then again, you got the demo here, or you can just watch a couple of episodes from my gameplay series there on this game to have a better sense of what this game is about. We got also Planet of Lana. I already completed this game. I did some recording here for, I think it's going to be the next gameplay series after I finish up with the Callisto Protocol. And I do recommend this game, especially at this price point, 50% off. I really think it's an excellent game, especially at this price point. Then you got also Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor Trilogy. So all that free games here, around 85% off on the bundle. I think it around $10, which has the different the GOTY editions of all the games, so everything. For $10, I think it's an excellent one. I did a series on the Rise of the Tomb Raider, but I'm going to replay it eventually. I'm going to do Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so I can complete the story and all that jazz. Then we got also from my library Wasteland 2. I did start doing a gameplay series, but I think it was with Wasteland 2. But then I upgraded to Wasteland 2 Director's Cut, and I'm still stuck there and trying to get some time and do a gameplay series on this one. But yeah, I do recommend this one. 70% off. I think it's a good price. And then we got Wasteland 3. I bought the Colorado edition. I think I bought it a little bit more cheaper on GOG. But yeah, at this moment in time on Steam, it's 46% off, which I think it's a decent price for this game. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. The extra support is for me to try and get a better storage solution so I can have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for this channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next one. So till then, Kunamy Master out.